Yo, what's good? Okay, now it is the next day. I saw Thunderbolts in theaters yesterday, and I'm here to talk about it. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I have fun. It was a good movie, but I had the worst headache known to mankind during the entire runtime of the movie. Not only that, but at first I thought I wasn't even gonna see the movie yesterday, mainly because I don't know what happened, but something happened with the previews. It got messed up, and then automatically the lights all turn off, and then the movie starts, and I'm like, the movie is starting. What about the previews? And then the movie stops, and then the lights turn on, like the actual bright lights, because usually it's like very dim lighted in my theater, but they actually turn on the lights, and then some guy comes in and he's like, oh, something happened, but the movie's gonna start in like 15 minutes. So we're like, all right, bet. So I'm sitting there with a headache, just thinking, oh shit, bro, I might not even get the chance to see it today. I might have to see it, Friday, which is now today. But luckily, they was able to just they essentially just skipped the previews and went straight to the movie. So I mean, I guess that was a first time experience for me, where it just and I'm a guy that I enjoy the previews. Like, I don't know about you guys, but I enjoy watching the previews. So the fact that they just skipped all the previews, went straight to the movie, it felt a little weird. But I mean, I guess it saved me time because my head was killing me anyways. But first movie in May. Now, going into this, I was very excited actually. All the trailers, the marketing, I thought it looked cool, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna see this because I'm not the biggest. I mean, I'm a Marvel enjoyer. I'm more of a DC guy though, but I enjoy Marvel, for the most part. So, most of the recent movies I have not seen, or like I saw Deadpool Wolverine, I saw Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3, but that's about it. And I saw Black Panther, back then, back in the good old days. But I was really looking forward to this, and from what I heard, from all the reviews, I heard that it was really good. People were enjoying it, and they were saying like this is supposed to be like the Suicide Squad of Marvel. So I was like, oh, okay, because me, I love me some Suicide Squad. Batman. What's that movie called? Assault on Arkham. That's an animated movie. And Suicide Squad Hell to Pay. Two fire animated movies featuring the Suicide Squad. And then there's, the live action Suicide Squads, which, the first one was mid, but the second one was pretty good. And then the Suicide Squad Isekai, which I think I watched like some of the first episode and then I just stopped. So, there's that. But I like the Suicide Squad for sure. So hearing that, going into this, I was like, okay, there's some expectations here. Now, I will say I enjoyed the movie. I had fun. Would I have enjoyed it more if my head wasn't killing me the entire time? Probably. But that's not the movie's fault. That's just on me for being stubborn and sitting through a 2-hour movie even though my head was killing me. Hey, I'm dedicated. I'm dedicated to getting all these reviews out on Friday. So, yeah. But let's get into it. Now, some of these characters I don't really know. There's Yelena, played by Florence Pugh. She was in the Black Widow movie, I'm pretty sure, but I didn't see it. So this is my first impression of Yelena, and what I will say is I really enjoy her character. And Florence Pugh, she was amazing. And then we have David Harbour, who plays Yelena. Jesus, I'm sorry. David Harbour is playing Red Guardian, who is Yelena's dad, and Yelena is played by Florence Pugh. Sorry, I had a stroke there. My fault. So yeah, David Harbour, obviously, Stranger Things. He was also in this year's A Working Man with Jason Statham. He was also in that, so he's great in this. He has most of the comedic lines, and he's fire for sure. Then we have Bob, aka the Sentry, and he is my other phone's dead. damn it. Well, I'll tell you, I do know the guy. He was in the second Strangers movie, Strangers Pray at Night. He was also in last year's Salem's Lot. So there's that. He's a decent actor. He was also in Bad Times at the El Royale with Chris Hemsworth. So he's definitely he was a standout. I'm glad his character, survived, because he's like the main villain. He's essentially this Robert is his full name. He's this guy with a dark past. He's very depressed. He feels alone. So right off the bat, I feel like most people could relate to his character. He just wants to feel wanted and to have people by his side and not feel so alone or like worthless. He wants to be someone. So he joins this program, which is like they do tests, like they're test subjects, like Deadpool or what I immediately thought of was Full Metal Alchemist. King Bradley, how they was trying to see who would be the next Führer. When they was putting the Philosopher's Stones in humans and seeing if they die, they weren't chosen. If they don't die, they're chosen. He obviously, Robert, he survived, so he's the chosen one, and he has like two sides to him. He has his like regular normal state, which most of the time he's just chill, and then his dark state, which is just like a void. He also reminds me kind of Broly a little bit, mainly like the new Broly, the Super Broly. How he's chill at first, but like you push his buttons and he loses control, he loses all sense of self, and he's just berserk. That's essentially what Robert is, but to like a darker, more twisted sense, because his void side still has a personality, unlike Broly, where like once he loses it, he's just a rage berserker. But this void version of him, he's more like I don't know how to explain it, but he's a threat. Essentially, he's a threat. And I do think that they're going to use him. Like, at the end of the movie... Alright, let me break this movie down, because I feel like I'm jumping topics. So, Yelena, she's also feeling pretty empty. She kind of just, does jobs for this woman. I forgot her name, sorry. But she's Hispanic. And... Wait, I think her name is coming to me. Nope, it's not coming to me. I thought I had it. Slipped my mind. Sorry. But this woman, this older woman, who I think was in Hard Eyes. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure she was in Hard Eyes. So this woman, she's essentially, what she's trying to do is like make a superhuman that's there to defend people, since the Avengers are like all over the place, like they're cooked. So like she wants to make this super soldier, Superman, to be the defense in case anything happens. But she doesn't want anyone to know, and there's like people on her ass. Bucky's working for some guy that's like trying to take her down, because the woman's very corrupt. So Bucky's trying to get information out of her, and she hires Yelena, bootleg Captain America, and this girl that can phase through objects and shit, and then Taskmaster. That's the only thing I remember. I'm pretty sure it's Taskmaster. She hires them to go infiltrate this base and like get rid of evidence or some shit like that. But what she was really trying to do was get them to all kill each other, because they all work for her, but they're all loose ends essentially. So she wanted them to kill themselves, but either way, she had them put in this place to kill them with this flame thing. Like she was gonna have the whole room area explode. So yeah. they put two and two together after they get there, but not before the Phase woman, she kills Taskmaster. So it's just Phase, bootleg Captain America, Yelena, and then Bob appears because he's there. Because the woman thought that he died, but he didn't. He survived. Bob has no recollection of what happened. He's very... he doesn't know what's happening. They escape, and then later on, Red Guardian joins because he hears about what she was planning on doing when he was Ubering her, I think. And then they all form a little bit of an alliance, and they call themselves the Thunderbolts, based on Yelena's soccer team when she was a kid. And then Bucky joins. At first he was trying to, kidnap them, but then he realizes, we could use them to stop the woman, because she kidnaps Bob and then manipulates him into, because she, sweet talks him, talks about, you could be everything that you ever wanted to be. You could be the most powerful Avenger. You could be a god, essentially. So he feeds into it because, he's weak or vulnerable. And he becomes the Sentry. And for a moment, he becomes the most overpowered character in the MCU. The Thunderbolts, they all go to take him down. They fail. And then the woman tries to turn on him by, having this kill switch. Because she's like, you need to listen to what I say. And he's like, why? I'm a god. Why should I have to listen to you? So she activates the kill switch. He dies, but his void self takes over. And then he just starts turning people into shadows, or like void. And the first person he does this to, I'm pretty sure, is a little girl. And when that scene happened, everybody was like, whoa, did they just murk a kid right in front of us? And temporarily, yes, they did. But as you know, it wasn't permanent. I'm sorry, I'm kind of allergy season. My nose, I've been mouth breathing for like 2 weeks. It's been horrible. But yeah, Yelena and all the others, they go into the void, or they get turned into shadows, and she sees all her memories, because every time throughout the movie, like, certain characters would touch Bob, and it would put them like in their memories to like a traumatic moment or some shit like that, or like their past. So that happens to all of them. She eventually finds Bob, and she, sweet talks him, and then he comes to his senses, and then they're all there in like his void, and then they all face off against Void Bob, and then Bob defeats Void Bob. He almost gets consumed by Void Bob, but Yelena's like, I'm here, you don't have to worry, you're not alone. And then they all, embrace, and then they all are saved. Temporarily, though, all of Manhattan gets turned into a fucking void. But yeah, they save the day. Bob doesn't remember anything, but we cut to a few... at the end of the movie, the woman announces, these are the new Avengers, yay! And then Yelena's like, we own you now, bitch. Okay? So, yeah, there's that. Yelena gets her happy ending. She's not alone anymore. And, yeah. There's also this one scene where her and, Red Guardian have a heart-to-heart, father-daughter moment. And it was really touching. I will say, this movie, it has a lot of comedy, but when it needs to be serious, it's serious, which is what I like. I feel like most people, they think the MCU is like soft now and filled with like a bunch of corny Gen Z jokes. So I'm glad that, 1 second. Yeah, I have a limited amount of time. I'm glad that the MCU is finally having a comeback. This movie was great. The post-credit scene shows the fantastic... I'm sorry. Oh my god. The end credit scene shows the Fantastic Four coming into the, orbiting towards Earth. And the new Avengers, aka the Thunderbolts, they see it and they're like, what the hell? So what I will say, since Fantastic Four is the only other Marvel movie coming out in July, they low-key spoiled Fantastic Four, because now we know that Galactus wins, they lose their world, and they come to the main timeline. So there's that. But this movie was great. I had a good time. I'm the Hero Light Legend, Tyre Figueroa, signing out. Peace. Sorry this was abrupt.